Hi Taurus, my name's Chandler. This is your June 2018 tarot card reading. I do offer personal readings. You can go to my website, linked down in the description box below if this resonates with you. I sense that in May, I did do a Taurus reading for May. You all have been going through quite an emotional revive. You have really wanted to just release some of the emotional tension that you've been carrying around with you, because I believe that you've been a little stubborn in the past few months or longer. And if you're really wanting to get to know yourself again, that has a lot to do with astrologically what's going on in your sign as well. Uranus and Taurus is definitely going to make you feel like renewing yourself. And I think the way that's available to you, at least within the next few months, is this emotional renewal, this emotional availability that you've been working on for quite some time, but it hasn't been till now that it's been of such a prime time. So, speaking of time, Uranus in Taurus, a lot of you are having birthdays, starting a new cycle in life, starting a new chapter in life, reinventing yourself, getting in touch with what is yours, very specifically, very personally, reconnecting with nature, getting down to earth, really vibing out here within this next cycle of your life. I'm sensing that a few of you could be getting pregnant. A few of you could be having surprises come up about pregnancy, about starting a family. And that's very Uranus energy. That's very Uranus in Taurus. Fertility and surprises, they go hand in hand. So I do see quite a few cards indicating childbirth. So for those of you who are interested in maybe doing that in your future, or you've been wanting to conceive, this is your month. The energy is really high. If you are not looking to have a child, this simply is speaking of something that is very new, very refreshing, and completely natural to Taureans. It's going to make you feel like a child again. It's going to make you feel so renewed and so refreshed. This energy is perfect for you, even if you're not looking to have a child. But those of you who are, you may be in for quite a surprise in the month of June. So, let's get started. I just pulled my Spirit Oracle card, which I love, and guess what came up? Lana Torah. So this is a card, obviously, of femininity, divine connection, obviously pregnancy, birth, childbirth, labors, pains associated with this card as well, but everything having to do with the natural ways chapters in our lives unfold or unveil themselves. It takes time, something about needing to grow or change into this new chapter, it allowing yourself to have the time and space necessary to really acclimate yourself, make preparations, right? This reading is really interesting, and we'll get definitely going on these other cards, but with Lana Torah, it speaks of needing to prepare for something pretty big coming into your life. You could expect it to be as big or foundationally shifting as a child, something that may be even very long-lasting within the month of June. So it's really exciting. For those of you who are looking to start something new, this is going to be very abundant. It's going to be very fertile, very foundational, long-lasting, and it's going to increase this very emotional, divine connection that you have to your creations, to that which you are beginning this month. You will give birth to something new, something beautiful. An idea manifests, the beginning of a new and wondrous journey. Blessings. So that's really cool. I like to hear that for Taureans. I think it's about time you guys have felt back in your element again. So let's get some truth bombs from the angels. Let's see what they have to say, because angels love children. Angels love to work with, mamas to be, being fertile and fertilization, or just simply being in good spirits to have a family. That, angels are so closely related and linked to family matters. So, any truth bombs? I can't make this up. This is really interesting. So, family, this is not a joke, Taurus. You guys are being slammed with this energy, this very playful, new, childlike, family-oriented, supportive energy that very well could manifest as an actual pregnancy or birth, especially since Uranus is in your sign. It can relate to big surprises that shake your foundation, change things for long term. So it comes in as this very surprising, maybe just exciting kind of energy. And for those of you who are wondering, what would we do if that's the case? If we do end up pregnant, well, obviously your guides and angels are telling you that it's in your highest and best interest to follow this path. It will help your family come back together. It will help you as a person grow your family, yourself. And it's always through our children, it seems, that we get the best idea of who we are as people. Our children specifically are those spirits that come into our life that are designed to show us either the weakest part of our egos or the strongest parts of our characters. So it's a great place to learn from just within your own family dynamic. This situation is rooted in an emotional experience with a family member, which we can help you to understand and heal. In your mind and heart, surround this person, yourself, and the experience with calming blue light and many angels. Be open to the gifts within the situation and allow yourself to feel peace. So this is very, very cool, okay? I'm really excited for some of you. I think that this is a great time to get pregnant or start a family. You might even just be getting subtle hints that it's time in your life. Maybe you've reached a certain point in your life where you have a significant other and it just seems like the right time or the right kind of chapter to walk into. And it's very abundant. I see a lot of newness happening. But again, why I say it might come to you as a complete surprise is because you have the Ace of Earth and the Ace of Emotions, of Water, coming up right in the beginning of June. So, this again leads me to think that you're not going to expect this, right? You're not going to feel like this is a potential until finally it just shows up and you're like, oh my gosh, this changes everything, right? So it's exciting, but it jolts you into refocusing. And what the earth element symbolizes is a home and family, things that are to come that you may have not expected, right? That jolt yourself, jolt your foundation, shake things up. And a part of you might actually be very fearful to take this next step. A part of you may actually be very hesitant to just go with the flow because it won't seem natural, because what you're referring to is how things are. When the universe has such a broader perspective, it knows what you need. So as much as this might be outside of your comfort zone, know that you are totally being guided. The ace, in no matter which way it shows up in your reading, it always strikes a new beginning, a new chapter, a sense of expansion and clarity. When you get the Ace of Earth and the Ace of Water together, you can expect something dynamic to be entering your life. And I feel as though this is for the long term. The Ace of Water also relates to emotions and feelings of love and elation, excitement. When it's in reverse, it doesn't necessarily mean the opposite, but it means it might be a little bittersweet. It might make you really question how you feel about this. Especially if it's long-term and long-lasting, you kind of have to go into your emotions now and really weigh out your options, not making any kind of assertive or blunt action. Really just kind of evaluating and being the observer with this card is probably the best way to go about it, especially if you're still in the deciding moments of whether to start a family or not. This could also relate to a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Gemini, Taurus, Gemini, I don't, it's not necessarily an earth card, but it's kind of earthy, it's kind of watery, and this is just kind of this very yin-yang, dark light feeling, because you know what you want, and there's some kind of support system around you, so it should be easy, but then there's also this side that's resisting, and just kind of taking a look at both sides of the spectrum. It's a little hard to decipher, but I think if you can just feel this as June comes, it's going to be exciting, and you might get a little bit of a rush from it, but it's going to be grounding. It's going to be good for you. It's going to unlock some of the barriers that you've had in your life, and I just see it ending really well for you. The 9 of Air comes up as this airy goddess of just enlightenment, consciousness, awareness, insight, expansion, universal knowledge, just a complete deep dive into what it is you think, believe, feel about certain things, your ideologies you've held. This is a really expansive energy, and it wanted to come out completely alone. There was no clarity for this card. So the energy that you're really feeling this month is super simple, or at least it's hoping to be for you. It's hoping to come into your life as a super simple transition. If it is a little jolting, it won't take you much time to decide what exactly you need to do. And in the midst of the chaos, you're going to be getting this just pristine clarity of your options, and knowing that what is in your best interest will eventually happen, or will just happen for you. And I just think it's a really good energy. So awareness, self-awareness, increasing self-awareness through what choices you make in the month of June are really going to be affecting how you feel about yourself, what kind of ideas you hold about yourself, what kind of ideas you hold about your relationships, the connections you hold. Of course, this is upright, so it could mean that you are expanding those, that you are actually cultivating more connections. You're connecting with people through maybe some adversity that you're facing. It's this doorway or gateway into a new chapter of your life where there is more to be learned. There is more to know. There is more to be. And it's maybe because of this adversity, this clear adversity, that you realize some of these blockages or some of these things within you absolutely need to change and need to grow. You need to breathe life into certain areas of your life. And that is exactly what the 9 of Air represents for you, is breathing life into certain areas of your life that were otherwise stagnant or dead. And it's there for you. The 9 of Air obviously also means a cycle or ending of a cycle. Closure as well, meaning that you're going to be walking away from something, but it's for something better. You're going to be putting an end to something or a way or a avenue in your life, and it's just going to lead you to better and broader horizons. But you have to keep this open mind, right? Because as soon as you start shutting down your possibilities of home and family and your emotions, that's when this clarity is going to turn into chaos. So keep a very open mind, keep a very simple mind, be open to interpretation, be aware of yourself, every inch of yourself as this comes to you, because it comes to you as a beacon of light, as a means of starting anew, starting afresh, refreshing your batteries, recharging your batteries in maybe a way that you would never have expected before. The Father comes up with the 5 of water and choice, child, and 9 of earth. My goodness, Taurus, my goodness. I am so happy for you. I honestly feel so good about this reading, and it was just so blunt and so clear and to the point that there was no clarity cards needed. Everything here is open for interpretation, but I think in your heart of hearts, you know that there is a significant chapter in your life coming to an end and a much more mature, stable, consistent one coming to you. So this can also, there's a lot of symbolism of abundance, right? Of money, of just the flow of energy being able to come back to you. I feel like as though you guys get in your stubborn phases, and that's okay, we all do, but you guys have been in one for a while now, and it's not till now that you feel like really just alive and really like you're living your life. It's going to feel so much more uniquely yours, and the value of that is going to continue to increase. So you can expect from this chapter to increase your money, to increase your well-being. Your health may be increasing, and just your overall perspective, prana, life force. It's going to be there for you, and you guys are going to be able to shine. What you're learning right now is so expansive that people may even look at you a year from now and just look at you like you're a different person because of the things that are happening right now. The father, this represents clearly someone who could be having a child, the child to follow, as well as choice. So some of you may be really deciding on what it is you need to do in your home and family life. The father plays this very dependable role. He's consistent. He's a moral character. He has value. He upholds the family dynamics. He's in a lot of ways kind of this rule or law enforcer, keeping the boundaries, keeping everyone safe and sturdy. But also he's very courageous. He's very useful. He's very ingenuitive. Putting things together for the betterment of all. And he's kind of this overseer of the best options or the best ways for the community. And people listen to him because he's very gentle-natured, he's of the earth, he's very natural, and I think this is the most Taurus card for the masculine energy. So a lot of you who are embarking on a new chapter and you're having doubts of maybe your role, know that this is the kind of energy that you really should rely upon, this very consistent, I'm there with you, I'm here right now, I'm in the present moment, I'm doing everything I can, and it's in this very grateful way of just being able to do it. So, the father, it's a really complex card. It's obviously speaking of a person, a life giver, but having this perspective on the overall betterment of the community, of his family, of the people he loves, keeping them safe, supported, and protected. So really important and vital character to have in a storyline. A good storyline, that is. The 8 of water comes up because there's some kind of karmic cycle ending. Okay, with the 8, we can expect a very new cycle to begin to flow. With the 8, we can expect clarity over our choices. But because it's in reverse, it may signify that you are swamped in your emotions, that there might be this upheaval of energy that is making, a lot of things feel combative. There might be even different options that just don't sit well with you or don't feel right, and you're kind of having a hard time nailing it. What doesn't feel right, and a lot of this is just so emotional. It could be nerves that are getting in your way. It could be anxiety that's getting in your way with this card, and unknowingness that's making you really uneasy. Well, the reason that there's 2 dolphins on this card, and his hands are open, it's because dolphins just have this certain intuition when they're really aligned. And there's a synchronicity with the dolphin energy that when in doubt, they follow their intuition, and it always seems to work out for them. It's very instinctual and within their intuition that they're able to find the flow. So if you're having a hard time finding the flow or finding the answers to this solution, get really in touch with your intuition. Get really in touch with really what you feel. Because there will be people, there will be circumstances that make you doubt yourself or make you feel as though you're not aligned, and that's an illusion. So again, you have a choice to make. You have a choice. You can absolutely stay in an illusion, or you can stay in this cycle. A lot of you are going to be making the best choice for you and your life. This is about you. This is all about you, Taurus. This is all about what you want in your life, and it's really significant. It's really potent and important. The choice card comes up only when you are faced with a crossroads in life, and you know it. So what you're going to really be doing is weighing the options, good and bad, light and dark, negative and positive, hard and easy, simple and complex, whatever kind of way you can weigh this out. I think, honestly, you guys will be taking the high road. You guys will be making a really awesome choice, because every card after this is just so beautiful and everything you'd want in any kind of family dynamic. Maybe you are rekindling some kind of very karmic cycle with your father. Maybe you are having a child and you want that father to be a part of your life, and you guys have had this uneasy relationship. Whatever the case may be, I feel as though this energy is here to assist you in your relationships, not only with yourself, right, getting in touch with what you want, but also with others, being able to express yourself in a very healthy way by presenting some of the choices that are up to you, and you have to make them. So therefore, you are just deciding to take the reins, so to speak, and call into action your own soul's purpose, your own divinity, and the part of you that really wants to speak up for itself. Because I'm not biased against whatever choice you may make in having a child. It is absolutely up to you, and this has to feel so right for you. But if it's not having children, then connecting with family, remedying the situation, getting an influx of clarity that allows you to put old dramas and old fights or arguments and qualms with your family or friends or significant other. It's like you guys have to realize with this stark clarity what choices you are given and how you're already maybe making them, right? Because if you're an indecision is still a decision. So you have to realize that the time is a factor, and that there's an energy there that will allow such beautiful expansion. So please, please, please take advantage of it. I think that you will be so happy knowing that you made the right decision, whatever that may be. So the child card comes up, which I don't see very often, actually, and it's this very purpley, very divine, and very innocent card. That therefore, I'm kind of being drawn to believe that some of you may actually really be in this cycle of having children, and it is a beautiful, wonderful time to start a family, to have a child, to unify you and your significant other, to become one. This card also has this endings and of cycles kind of vibe to it, but it's in the sense that all is becoming the one. Awareness, consciousness, divine connection, this broad perspective upon the horizon. So once you do get this kind of very acute clarity, you might just feel like unifying a lot of things in your life for the greater good, or for the simplification of some of the chaos or confusion that's been going on. It seems very simplified when we have the child card. It seems very grounded, neat, innocent, sweet, simple, savory, just very, very enjoyable feelings surrounding these cards. So maybe, your guides are telling you it's time to heal for certain family dynamics. Maybe it's time to get back to that loving compassion within yourself. Maybe your inner child is telling you that you have been hard, stern, stubborn, stagnant for too long, and that it's time to embrace this very innocent, childlike flow that is wanting to come back into your life. But maybe there's been certain blockages. Maybe there's been certain ego barriers. Maybe you've overcomplicated this situation where, again, this father figure is coming out at me right now to, further clarify that it's not always a decision, right? Sometimes we make decisions and then we have to consistently be responsible for them afterwards, right? Being a father doesn't mean that one day you're a father and one day you're not. You're always a father after you make that decision. So something about being very consistent and being very responsible and being very aware of that which you create and bring forth into the world, that is really beautiful. Again, the 9 of Earth, you have lots of stuff coming to a close this month, Taurus. I really can't believe this reading. It's going to be beautiful for you. But with the 9 of Earth specifically, it means that you are embracing this kindness, compassion, you're connected to the Earth. This card is very much a Virgo card in the way that they are very feminine, they are very earthy, but they have an awareness about them that is very keen and very helpful when necessary. They're great workers. They lend a hand, and they kind of just devote themselves to whatever their purpose is at that time. So there's again this calling. There's again this purpose that you're serving. And whether that's a mother, right, very Virgo, virgin, becoming a matured woman or a man, this can absolutely speak to a very a man, even though it's a very feminine energy. So just so you know, there's been this callousness, there's been this stubbornness, and your guides are really wanting you to work on this next chapter of your life in the sense of moving forward in a more gracious, humble, helpful, prosperous, open-minded, simple way. So this is really exciting. Compared to the last reading, I was really wondering what would go on with your energy this month, but I see that you guys are still, working on the emotional dynamics of your relationships, of yourself. Uranus is having a great hand in helping this transition happen for you by providing you maybe some much-needed clarity, but nonetheless, it's going to make you much happier. I hope you like this reading. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and I will see you next time. Bye!